Hello everyone, so welcome back to the stream. Today we're going to be talking about setting up a virtual machine where now we'll be hosting our projects. We are already created two repositories, that is the SaaS backend and the frontend SaaS. Reason for this was we're supposed to be adding some workflows so that we do automatic deployments, but for me many will go for AWS, but I'll be going on with I'll be moving on with what do you call it, DigitalOcean. So all we need to do is we can access DigitalOcean. So if you don't have an account, you can proceed to create one. So we will just log in, agree and continue. I will continue with my GitHub. So once I'm logged in, currently you can see I have no billing here, so meaning I have no project running. So I'll create a new project, then with the name of our project, it's Digital Venture. So I'll create a project known as Digital Venture. So after adding Digital Venture, so once I have Digital Venture there, so I think for the purpose, web application, create. So for now I don't have any resources. The Digital Venture, what I'll do, I need a droplet where I'll be putting all my things. So within the droplet we can choose to host, or we have the GPU, functions, Kubernetes, databases, but I want to go with that. I'll just turn these notifications off. So then there's usually a way for adding domains. So let's see, a platform. So I'm not using that. I'll just be using a simple droplet for doing everything. So what we'll need to do is to create a droplet. So we'll click on create a droplet here. Once we click on create a droplet, we'll select the closest location we have close to where we are. So I'll just choose, I'll go with the New York East. I won't change anything here. Then I'll choose my default. So I can go with either Debian, Fedora. Here I'm choosing the type of OS that I want to install, because all of them are Linux based. So with me, I'll choose Ubuntu. After choosing Ubuntu, then you can see here it's already selected Premium AMD. I won't go with that, it's quite expensive, so I'll just go with the regular one. Then select this one for $6 a month, or I can go for the lowest, this one. So let's see, why is it not taking this one? So let me just go with the $6 just for purposes of this. Then from here, I won't choose any other thing. Then what I'll do at this point, generate an SSH key. So with this, what they'll prompt me to do, I'm not going to be using password. So as you can see here, you can choose to either go using the password or the SSH way. I'll choose the SSH version. So reason for SSH is by default it will disable the password login. So then what I'll do, I'll just bring up my terminal, then so I'll go to my .ssh into keys, then on the keys I'll generate, we have SSH keygen, so I'll just press enter. Then you can see we have a default ID underscore RSA, so I'll just, instead of this, I will rename it. So reason why I moved to .ssh keys is because when you are renaming the file, it will rename it in the folder that you are in. So that's why you need to change it to change your allocation to where we are. So I'll just make it as a digital venture underscore RSA. So I won't add a passphrase, then it's already added. Then I'll just SSH add digital venture RSA, then it will add my PC. Then I can just take the contents of the SSH, the public key, so digital venture .pub. So this is what now you take. This is the public key. We've added our private key to the registry of the SSH. Then now we need to take the public key, then add it to, so add public SSH key. So I'll just paste that here. Then the name, let me say digital venture underscore RSA. So add SSH key. So once that is done, what we'll do, I'll provision a single droplet, of which here you can select single. If I add two, you can see the price doubles. Next, so just add digital venture. So then afterwards I'll just tick that because it's free. Then create a droplet. So the droplet is currently provisioning. So when you check here on the activity, you can see this. So if we come and check on the resources side, it's still booting. Yeah, so I think it's now up. If now I come here, then access, so I can access the droplet directly. So we just log in. I think let me copy the IP. So we copy the IPv4. Then in here I'll just add a tab where we can now we need to configure how we we access this so let's call it digital venture. So then host name will be that, then user will be git root, then port will be 22, then identity file. I'll just copy this part. So after that section I can just copy this, paste it here, save, then exit. Meanwhile I can just copy this and exit. Then I can just try to log into digital venture. Yes, and you can see we are logged in into the Droplet. So because we had set SSH key, so you can access it directly from this side, or you can access it from the other end. So in the after after now we've created this, we need to create a user account. So create user, so when you're creating a user, because our resources, the resources we're going to be using, we will be we don't need to run everything in sudo. So with that we'll have to create another user so that we can use that user for managing our applications. Running things under root is quite risky, so that's why we want to go with that. So I'll just use these online resources because I don't have those commands in my head. So we can have multiple users, but I'll just use one for simplicity and for housing everything in one place. So we have two instances. There's one which is this and the other one. Meanwhile, I'll just close this one and use the shell session that I'm having. So I'll just paste that. The user we're going to be having, let's call it Orinda, my name. So the password, let me just add some simple password here. Then Felix Orinda, no room number, no work phone, no home. Yes, correct, that's correct. So once we add user, we can once user is created, then now we need to enter password, creating user with the home directory. Okay. So after adding that user, then change user in Linux. So login. So we can change sudo -s. So we can just write who am I, then su Orinda, then you can see we have Orinda here, ls. Then you can see we cannot do anything in this root directory, so we can just switch back to root. Root. So the root has no password, so I think I'll just log out, exit. So once I exit that session, I will need to add the user to make Linux user as sudo. So we add this, just copy that and paste here. So yeah, user mode add to group sudo, the username which is Orinda. So instead of that space, then add Orinda. Then we can switch to su Orinda. Then you can see now we have been brought here. So pwd, we are in the root directory. So let me try exit, create user, delete Linux user. So sudo user del Orinda, then so create user with create Linux user with the home directory. So we'll start with sudo access so let's use this DigitalOcean SSH. We've already done that. So instead of that, with home directory, so for us to create a user, login, there's this create Linux user. Oh, add user, when you add user that let's create a lock state to unlock. You need to set up password using password. Okay. So user add, let's see, user add. So user add Orinda. So we've added Orinda, SU Orinda. So ls pwd exit. So we need to activate the user using the password Orinda. Then just add this. Then now we can su Orinda. Yes. So then we need to give access grant so then we need to, from this point I think we can add user to the sudos exit list, then Orinda su Orinda yes. So let's see. So I'll just confirm something. Start me just confirm what's going on here. Sudo ls okay. So we can make directory of projects, permission denied. Okay, create Linux user for Droplet. So create Linux user sudo privileges. So add new user grant privileges. I'm doing that. Okay. For render. Okay. So it's working. Yeah. I think nothing has changed, just this hyphen. Okay, so who am I? Orinda. So we can start by installing basic things. Start by updating. So we update packages, then we upgrade. So let's wait for this to finish. So this will upgrade all the packages in our Linux, this new installation. So as this clears up, next thing we need to install Docker. Sudo apt install Docker. So we have Docker sudo apt search, because the tab isn't working, so I'll just use search Docker. So with that we can just, I think we have Docker compose v2, we have Docker compose v2, Docker registry, docker.io. So we'll install sudo apt install docker.io, docker hyphen compose v2, docker hyphen registry. So we can just, instead of, we can run direct command. Okay, so where is it? Copy this, paste -y, so that it doesn't reprompt. So this will install Docker and set it up. Then we can look for how to run Docker without sudo. So this will make sure that whenever we are trying to run Docker, we don't run it with sudo. So just accept all the cookies. So they're just these commands here. I'll copy it from this point, paste. So we already have that. Add to the current group where the current logged in user is. Then you can just run this, paste. Then we can test if Docker exists by running. We pull the hello world image, and you can see hello world from Docker, and we've successfully installed Docker. So in the next series, will be ls we'll be setting up our application here. So once we set everything up, let me just test if we have SSH. So we'll set up SSH for this user so that we can log in as this user and start setting up the CI pipeline for deploying our packages. So from this, take away from this, if I log out, if I exit this session, exit, so if I exit, I can see I'm back to the root. So if we need to switch user, we use su hyphen then the username Orinda. Then I think we'll need to change our default bash. So change default shell. So okay, how to change default shell in Linux? So then we can just check echo shell to check which shell. So we are running sh at the moment, but I don't like sh. I need to um, I'll use these ones which are here, so that we use bash. So paste or render. So then user bin bash, I think. Then we can just exit again, then change to render. Then you can see now we have bash as our default. So then you can just list things here. Then you can just clear. So anytime we need to get back to the root, we can just exit and get back to the root. But apparently this is how now we've established an access to our droplet, and we're able to access it from our shell using SSH. Then now we'll set up everything, every other thing afterwards, so that we can set up the CI pipeline. Let's meet in the next one.